Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. I am going to be doing a review for the movie Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. It was done 2 years ago, back in 2018, but I finally got around to seeing it because, well, things happen. Anyway, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically, this movie was done shortly after the Jon Favreau movie for Disney. And this movie I liked better because it was darker, more gritty. It didn't have that Disney feel. Now, Jon Favreau's movie was good. Don't get me wrong, I actually liked it. But this movie had a different take. It was Andy Serkis who directed it. They had Christian Bale as Bagheera. They had Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan. Freaking Kate Blanchett as Kaa. It was just really well done. The acting from Rowan Chand, who played Mowgli, was also very well done. Even freaking Andy Serkis's kid was in this movie as a voice for Boot, the albino wolf pup that was basically the runt of a litter. And it really broke my heart when I saw what became of Boot after Mowgli was cast out. But Boot was still around trying to be his friend, but Mowgli shunned him and told him that they were both freaks and you came out wrong and this and that, kind of breaking down Boot's spirit a little bit. And then when Mowgli finally was captured by the village that was around, Bagheera basically told him to gain their trust and whatnot. And then he found out that the hunter, or that was sent to kill Shere Khan, had ended up killing Boot, the albino pup, or the albino wolf cub. And it was so sad when I saw that. It's like, oh man, they really went to the dark side on this movie. And one of the characters I thought was, or I found was missing was King Louie, but you know what? Shere Khan was ruling the monkeys. So it was a different take, and you know what? It kind of did improve. I mean, maybe King Louie was there, but I didn't really notice him because they didn't really have him as a speaking part. It could have been he was the head of all the monkeys. I mean, the big furry one. That could have been Louie. I don't know. But yeah, this movie was great. I mean, there was a touching moment with an elephant with a broken tusk and whatnot, and I was wondering why they focused on it when the elephant rescues Mowgli. And then I'm like, okay, so this is going to play later on because I notice when they focus on certain things, directors and whatnot, they have a certain way of focusing on something really quick or something that's so out of the ordinary that is usually just doesn't seem interesting or doesn't seem important. But if they do focus on it, you could tell that that's probably going to play a part later in the movie. And this one does, because the hunter who was hunting Shere Khan was asked after Mowgli was being reintegrated into the village of people. Somebody asks him, "Did you ever miss?" And he's like, "Once, and it was an elephant. But I got half of his tusk." And Mowgli is basically being raised by the hunter and whatnot, and the hunter makes him a knife. And when Mowgli gets the hunter back to bed because he was drunk from a celebration with the villagers, he notices that the hunter is also a taxidermist. And he basically taxidermied Boot. And then the hunter finds Mowgli. He doesn't know the connection, of course, but Mowgli is very disturbed and very angered and saddened by it because he never could reconcile with Boot. He never had the chance to apologize to him. And it was very touching, and Mowgli gained the village's trust, and he also then stole the tusk because the huge heavy chunk of tusk, He called out, or he found the elephant. Shere Khan took over the wolves for the most part. Andy Serkis played Baloo. Oh my gosh, man! The I'm willing to bet they actually did motion capture for the animals, because, or at least for Bagheera and Baloo, and maybe even the wolves too, because when I look at Baloo, I knew immediately that was Andy Serkis. His face just had similarities to Andy Serkis's face, and the or Bagheera's face in the movie has similarities to Christian Bale's face when Christian Bale has a beard and whatnot and a goatee. You could tell that there was definitely similarities to the creature or to the animals and their voice actors. I mean, Kate Blanchett is a snake in this, but she does well as Kaa. I mean, she's like a 100-foot python in the movie, but I mean, it's unrealistic, yes, but it's still interesting. But overall, objectively, this movie does kind of have a little bit of flaws in it. I mean, the score is very forgettable. I can't remember any of the score, and I just got done watching this movie like an hour ago. But the or pretty much other than the score, the visual effects were pretty good. I mean, there were a couple slip ups here and there, but for the most part, I thought it was very well. The story was written well. It kept you engaged. It kept you on the seat of your, or on the edge of your seat. I mean, this was a great movie, and I thought it was a better movie than Disney did. I mean, Disney has been doing the Jungle Book for years. I mean, you had the original cartoon, then you had, I believe, a sequel to the cartoon movie a few years later. Then they did Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book with Jason Scott Lee. Then they did a sequel to that one. And then they did the live action to the original, that Jon Favreau did. All those are good in their own right, but this one by far is my favorite. Mowgli, the Legend of the Jungle. It was by far my favorite. So objectively, I will give this movie, without bias and whatnot, objective, I would actually give this movie a 4 out of 5. I thought it was well done. The acting, the score, or, well, minus the score, but the score was forgettable. But the writing, cinematography, setting, and all that, that was all well done. Subjectively, I'll give this movie a 5 out of 5. I don't do that often, but this movie was definitely a subjective favorite of mine when it comes to Jungle Book and whatnot. This movie really tapped into nature, jungle, the law of the jungle and whatnot. They weren't, I mean, yes, it had a good ending and a happy ending, but it also showed you that there were stakes in this movie that were high. With the death of Boot and whatnot, it was you don't always get to reconcile with people if you shun them after, or if your feelings are hurt. You never know when somebody's going to die. And I was wondering basically what happened to Boot. And sadly, when I saw he was taxidermied, it's like, oh my god, this hunter killed him. And Mowgli was going to kill the hunter. But he thought against it because he realized he could use greater purpose. He actually returns the elephant's tusk and says, I will give you the hunter if you help me kill Shere Khan. And the elephants did. They helped him against Shere Khan. Shere Khan eventually did die. Mowgli kills him and whatnot. I mean, the movie is a great movie. And moviegoer, if you are into movies that are not, this movie is not, I wouldn't say it's for young kids. I mean, teenagers, sure, but it's definitely not for young kids because this movie will have very frightening elements in it. The monkeys in this movie, they pull you in a little bit with their silliness, but then they get really dark really fast when it gets down to it. Shere Khan is not a very friendly looking tiger. I mean, he has a gimp paw when he's walking with one hand and the other hand's like this. it's gimped and whatnot. And I thought that was a good touch too. But yeah, this movie is not for little kids, like anybody from like freaking 3 or 4 years old to 10 years old. I mean, if you're a teenager or a preteen, yeah, I would definitely let you watch it. But I mean, it might scare kids who are younger. So yeah, moviegoer, I would give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. This movie was good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And Andy Serkis just truly shows how well he can do movies, not just with the acting, but with the directing. He did very well. And I look forward to seeing more movies from Andy Serkis. I mean, the guy, he is a true gift and talent to Hollywood and to movies and entertainment. I mean, he pioneered, or I wouldn't say he pioneered, but he did a great job doing the voice of Gollum. Then they turned him into the body and action of Gollum. He's been doing mocap, or he's really been a go-to for mocap and whatnot. The guy just knows his stuff, and as a director, he's a good director, in my opinion. But anyway, folks, that is the video. I got to get ready to go to see Birds of Prey. I'm going to be doing a live stream of that tonight at 10 p.m. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know down in the comments below if you have seen Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. It's on Netflix. I know that currently. You can definitely catch it on Netflix. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of it. And put it down in the comments below. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Catch you all on the next one.